Do you tongue thrust? Time for some PFOing so you know where you're going. Hey everybody, it's me, Dr. Ryan Packard. I'm here in McKinney and Anna, Texas, and decided to form a new club, the Tongue Thrusting Club. So if you want to be a part of it, come find us. Actually, I haven't made that club yet. If you do want to be a part of this PFO club, come find us. Today we're talking about tongue thrust. I had a patient, specifically the mother of the patient, asked me the other day, or suggest my dentist said that daughters have tongue thrust. Do we really need to be that scared of the tongue thrust? Well, this is the dealio, all right? The tongue is a giant muscle and it sits in our mouth and it's part of development and it's important part of equilibrium, the equilibrium of your mouth. The tongue can affect lots of different things. It's involved in swallowing and breathing and chewing and just the normal like hold still, help maintain the teeth in their specific positions. Okay, we're not gonna get into all of that, but in this case, tongue thrusting, the idea of, pushing your tongue out somehow, that movement can affect your tooth position in some significant way. So let's talk about it. Is that true? Do you need to be worried about tongue thrusting? How do we even take care of thrusting tongues? I mean, it just sounds crazy. Anyways, here's some thoughts. First off, when it comes to tongue thrusting, one of the thoughts is that it can contribute to teeth in the front pushing out like that, sticking out. Or not just sticking out, but also opening your bite in the front. Those are probably two of the most common results that are associated with or claimed to be associated with tongue thrust. So let me show you. This is the mouth of the lovely patient that came in. Well, this is how she started. This family elected to do some cosmetic alignment of the teeth and try to pull those teeth back a little bit more so that they weren't as far forward. Okay. So now that her teeth are back, the dentist had brought up for her and her sister that perhaps they are dealing with a tongue thrust. And mom noted that the dentist suggested that the other sister had more of a tongue thrust than this model that we just showed you. And she's like, it didn't quite make sense because this daughter, her teeth stuck out more. But the dentist said that the other daughter was the one with more tongue thrusting. And I was like, case in point, okay? The reality is that, and I'm gonna show you with a picture, there are a lot more kids that have tongue thrusting that actually have open bites, so the teeth are apart, or the teeth that stick out like this. You would think that if tongue thrusting was a major component to teeth getting out of position, then you would see lots of people that have tongue thrusts that have teeth that stick out and or have open bites. But the reality is, it's not that way. Let me show you. You see in this graph, on the left is the percentage of the population. At the bottom is age. We're getting older, all right? And what you see, this blue dotted line, right, is tongue thrusting, all right? It represents tongue thrusting. So when we're young, we tend to have this infantile tongue thrusting, which some have argued is like a residual of just like their swallowing pattern when we're young. And then over time, we transition into a more mature swallowing pattern. And so the tongue thrusting actually gets less and less and less. You can see that in the graph. All right, so if we saw that tongue thrusting was directly correlated or causal factor to open bites or teeth that stick out, what we would see is we would see children as we get older, right? Those issues are less and less and less. That makes sense? So, or I guess another way to say it is we see that at a young age, we have lots of tongue thrusting, okay? Those kids are going crazy with the tongue thrusting. But what we see is you look at down at the very bottom, you got the open red square box and the open, well, it's not open, it's actually like a maroonish shaped box with dotted lines, okay? Those represent the amount of open bites or the percentage of open bites for those aged kids, all right? And you can see that it is a very very low percentage of individuals that have tongue thrusting have these open bites or teeth that stick way out. And in fact, at least in the red category, the red square box, we see that the open bite goes up a little bit while the tongue thrusting is going down. So, okay, there you have it. That is one example from some of the studies that have demonstrated that there may not be a direct correlation between tongue thrusting and teeth that are just all jacked up and a bite that's all jacked up. So, do you really need to be worried about tongue thrusting? From an orthodontic standpoint, Probably not. Now, tongue thrusting, that may be different than tongue posture, all right? So people that stick their tongue in between their teeth, if it's resting there all the time, sometimes, we know that forces over a long time, you can check out our other videos, right? In order to move teeth, to affect teeth, you have to have continuous force. The more continuous the force is over time, the more likely it is to impact the teeth. And so having a tongue that is constantly in between your teeth, those are things that can impact the position of the teeth. So again, when it comes to like an individual like has an open bite, their back teeth touch but their front teeth don't, right? If their tongue is constantly in that position, then maybe that will affect the teeth. But based on the current evidence that we have, just because you have a tongue thrust or the forward pushing of your tongue onto the teeth, that doesn't mean that we will end up with an open bite. So tongue thrusts don't necessarily need to be fixed before you have braces, and sometimes as you close the bite, right, that forward posture of the tongue or the tongue thrusting, that, as we saw on the graph, goes away. Hopefully we can put that to rest for now. But in case any of you were really excited about being a part of a tongue thrust club, we will definitely take you, we will accept you into Packard Family Orthodontics. We can take care of putting your teeth all together for you. Maybe we can have a secret handshake or something like that for, tongue thrusting, but we'll just have to talk about it when you get here. I hope you enjoyed this. If you can't come here, you can't find us, keep watching the video, subscribe to our channel so that we can open your eyes to the wonderful world of straight teeth, maybe some tongue thrusting, but not necessarily thrusting that leads to bad bites. That's all I've got. Just a little PFOing so you know where you're going. Packard out.